Yes?
So Israel is the branches. That's what you're referring to?
Absolutely. There's 12 branches that came out of Isaac and Jacob.
Okay. I'm just making sure, just for clarification. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why Paul was asking them in the beginning, did God cast away his people? No. So he didn't want the Gentiles to get into the church to start believing that it was just about them and not the people who brought them the gospel. So now Paul is saying, boast not against the natural branches. The natural people, the people of the flesh that came out of Abraham matters. Finish reading. This verse brings it home. Go ahead.
Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off, and those by faith. Be not high-minded, but fear. For if God spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee. Behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of God on them which fell, severity, but towards thee, goodness, if thou continue in his goodness. Read the 19th verse
for me again, sister. The point I wanted to make was the 19th.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Thou always say then, the branches were broken off, that I might be grafted in.
Paul is telling the Gentiles what their boasting is by claiming that the Israelites are done away with, and it's all about them now. It's all about spiritual Israelites. It's all about everyone else except God's people. The churches are now teaching against the very stipulation they was given to be a part of the root in the first place. Now they tell you it doesn't matter who you are. Now here's the point, sister. The point is, when you read further down, those Gentiles who boasted against the natural branches will be cut off. And God's people will be grafted back in. And it so happens, sister, you are one of them. You are not only from the spiritual seed, you are from the physical seed of Israel. And you have to awaken to understand what belonged to you.
Okay.
In the context of this scripture. So in understanding this, sister, it's salvation. Salvation is not what one man claims salvation is. Salvation is the whole thing. It's the whole book. And also, Christian churches are not teaching salvation because they're not showing who God's people are, who are suffering the curses of tribulation. Now, there's a lot more that we can discuss, but I wanted to leave you with that so that we can at least agree with Romans the 11th chapter.
Okay. Well, I thank you for your time.
Okay. Bless you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Now, one thing I can appreciate that, and I thank that sister, is that she was able to have a dialogue, still bring her points, even in disagreement, without disgust, and was willing to hear. At least she understands the precepts in which we brought forth. And while there's so much confusion and so much what I would call multiple disagreements within Christianity as a whole, all of Christianity have rejected the original root. And what we're saying, the poor people who went through the slave ships, like in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, are the natural branches. They are suffering tribulation. The Christian church are also lying, claiming that there's a tribulation period, when our people have been in tribulation ever since the Romans have destroyed us 70 A.D. It's not one period. Of course, as we get closer to Christ's coming, the tribulation gets worse. But the tribulation is tribulation nonetheless. When the Romans, who are the Roman Catholic Church today, the European powers destroyed us in 70 A.D., we ran into Africa. And if you don't believe this, here's a reference. Here's a reference for you all. The 13th tribe by Arthur Koestler, a Jewish man, said that if we are the Jews, there must have been the 13th tribe, and you know there's only 12. They know that we are the real children of the diaspora. The Christian church have hid this fact by lying to us in slavery, killing the learned ancients, and then started calling us Gentiles from the cursed seed of Ham. They lied on us on purpose. They claimed that we were Ham so that they can stake claim to our identity. Linking in Revelations 2 and 9, those that say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. They're claiming to be us. And they set up themselves and established themselves over in Israel today. And listen, what is the importance of this? Because we don't know that we're the people of the curse, the Gentiles set up a world of sin so that our God can perpetually fight against us. They made it where it's lawful to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster and all these evil abominations. This is the reason we fell in the first place. Christ didn't eat shrimp, crab, pork, or lobster. Then they started deceiving the people with the misconception or the unlearned concepts of Christianity, teaching, well, Christ says what goeth into a man defileth a man. Don't defile a man, but what cometh out. Hold up. You're deceiving me. In that scripture, Christ was speaking of washing hands before eating bread. There was no pork on the table. So what we're telling brothers and sisters, and we're trying to have you understand, is that they have set in mechanisms to keep us from coming back to our God. We are the lump. We are the branches. And they're trying to keep this from us. And these Gentiles have established themselves over the church with us in the crosshairs. Now look at the black church today. They have accomplished their will against us, and they're going to accomplish, and they are accomplishing their great tribulation against us by mass genocide now because we are totally demoralized. So you're going to tell me it doesn't matter? That this have nothing to do with salvation? Think again. This have everything to do with salvation. We send Benjamin from the West Indies, stand up, rise up. We're saying Issachar from Mexico, rise up. Judah, the so-called Negro in Africa and in America, rise up and stake claim to your book and your national origin, because you are the lump that the Gentiles have boasted against. That they receive everything in this world. Asher from Colombia, rise up. Reuben, Seminole Indians, rise up. Rise up with the truth and staking claim to who you are. Naphtali over there in the South Pacific Seas. You Samoans from the Fiji Islands, Naphtali, rise up. Ephraim, the Belikwa Taino Indians, the Puerto Ricans, Manasseh, the Cubans, rise up. You are the natural branches. Why do you think the Romans went right after you to convert you into Roman Catholicism, into Christianity? Because you are the people who were destroyed in 70 A.D. You are the people that were taken out of the land in the southern kingdom in 721 B.C. And the Romans, who are posing today as Jewish people, they're really Kabbalists, knows this. Knows this. I've had well-learned Jewish people come to me one-on-one and say, listen, you're telling the truth. Straight up. You're telling the truth. You are the people, but look at the condition of your people. And I came and told the rabbi who was on a show with us one day, and Gocc was a witness of this. I said, well, listen, we are the Jews. And he said, well, listen, well, I can accept you as a Jew. Of course you can. But then he said, well, why can't you accept us? Because you won't tell the people the truth. That's why we can't accept you, because you can't come with lies. That's why we can't accept you, because you're lying to the people. And you're telling me, well, Ricard, well, your people not following the law. And I said, Rabbi, how many of you set up a synagogue to tell people in our neighborhoods that they should follow the law, because that's why they fell and needed Christ in the first place? Why you set up churches that teaches in our neighborhoods that it doesn't matter and you can continue in sin? That's to keep us under their foot. So I just wanted to make those points, and I'm glad the sister is a part of that church as far as understanding that, so she can start weighing that information with the truth. Because if something didn't jog her interest, she wouldn't have held on the phone to listen this long to ask a question. So the Spirit must be working there in some form or fashion. And I said, you know what? When it first went down, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to let the phone call end like this. This is what the enemy wants. The enemy wants us to end in an abruptness in which she'll go her way and never see our real intent to bring the true gospel of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, God, are you with me?
I'm here, man. I'm here.
Okay, I'm woke up now. We need to get that guy back. Excuse me. Go ahead.
I think we have just over half an hour left to go on the show. I'm going to try to bring in some callers real quick. I just see we lost a few people here. The sad thing that is, if you come off now, you can't come back on. All right, I'm going to take Brother Kamar with a statement real quick. Shalom. Welcome to the Search Engine International. Sorry for the hold. You're live.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay, man. It was a beautiful thing to hear the record breakdown to that sister, understanding the natural branches, because it need to be explained. Shalom, Elder. How you doing?
Oh, brother, bless you. I'm a little tired, but I'm all right.
All right. First, I want to just say all praises to the Most High, Ahaya by Hashem Yeshaya. And just want to thank the Most High for this show that you have brought forth, and understanding that. And hearing the guy earlier, I thought that he was the other pastor, Johnny, from last time, but it's just so amazing how much they all sound alike. But I wanted to bring some scripture, but I'm not going to bring scriptures for, because I know y'all have other callers, so I'm just going to get into my the statement that I want to make. Okay, they say the law is done away with, and you brought up the scripture in John 5:17, where Christ said, "Think not that I destroy the law. Come to destroy the law." Okay. Well, one thing they tend to look over is that Yeshaya said, "Think not." Now, understanding that he said, "Think not that I come to destroy the law," I was thinking one day about this, and it came to my mind, and I was like, okay, Christ said, "Think not that I come to destroy the law." So I was thinking when Moses had got the laws when he was on the mountain, I was like, the Most High was giving him the word. So therefore, when the Most High gave him the word, he gave him Yeshaya. Therefore, having an understanding in 1 John 1, it says, in the beginning there was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. Understanding that Yeshaya is the word. So therefore, when the Most High gave Moses the law, the commandments, he was giving Moses Yeshaya. Therefore, when it says in Matthew 5:17, it says, "Think not that I come to destroy the law," he's basically saying, think not that I come to destroy myself, but I come to fulfill myself out of the Old Testament. And that's all that I wanted to really bring forth. Just something that was brought to my attention. And you can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely correct. Bless you, brother. Absolutely.
Right, and I just want to say peace, shalom, and barakatah to you, brothers. I love you, brothers. Continue to do the good work for the Most High.
Bless you, brother. Thank you. And I would like to say this, you brothers and sisters. My question is, why is the Christian so adamant against God's law? Why is it that they got to go through leaps and bounds just to tell you not to follow God's law? What is the agenda behind that? You never asked that? What's wrong with following God's law? And now they coming out saying, don't follow the Ten Commandments now. Why? At first they said, well, we got to follow the Ten Commandments, until they realized keeping the Sabbath was one of them. And then they said, well, okay, well, let's just do away with all of them then, because they're going to say there's a contradiction if we take 9 and leave out 1.
Let's get rid of all of them together then.
Let's just get rid of all of them together. And see, this was their plan. This is what Christ warned us from. He warned us that they would come inside the church. Many shall come in my name, saying I am Christ, and shall deceive many. These are Christians. Why? What's the deception? Making you believe Christ said something he didn't say. Christ never said that the law was done away with. He's a fulfillment of the law. If he do away with the law, he must do away with himself, because he's written of in the law. He's not going to do away with himself. But Satan would want to do away with him. Satan would want to do away with this law. And those are your slave masters. They gave you Christianity. And they'll never tell you that it's important who you are. Why? Because they know they have lied, that you are not Gentiles. You are the children of Israel, and they know it. And your spirit bears witness to the truth, that you knew that you were somebody more than what they were saying. That's why they aimed so much destruction towards us. Look at the civil rights movement, everything we went through. No other people on this earth go through what we go through. You think that's by chance? But yet, we stay loving, we stay forgiving,